to this, I do need to make sure that everybody hits that like button. Hit that like button, that'll or dislike. You know, some of y'all is in your feelings already. I don't know what you'd be disliking about a stream. You don't even know what I'm going to talk about yet. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But what I want you to do is let YouTube know you're over here. Because when it gets right down to it, a lot of stuff going on in the country, and we're going to handle it this way. Where are all the good black men? Now, good black men, what that basically means is black men who are out here competing, living life above board and competing. Simple as that. I call him Blue. I call him Blake Henry. I call him Blue Henry, and I call him the Hit Squad. We're all the good black men. Now, I will say something. This is something you've heard a lot of sisters talk about for the longest. We're all the good black men. We're all the good black men. As if good black men went extinct right along with the dinosaurs. However, over the last several years, many credible outlets have shown and proved that not only do good black men exist, they're plentiful. They are plentiful, which is kind of a twist to a lot of folks because, ladies, the question isn't where are the good black men? The question is, what would you do if you got one? What would you do if you got one? Now, I'm going to do first I'm going to start with the men. One, I know I'm for the guys who may find issue with some of the things I'm going to say, understand, I'm assuming I'm talking to grown damn men over here. Men who already want to be in the top 10% of manhood. Men that I don't have to tell they need to work 60 hours a week. Men I don't need to tell that they actually got to get out and show they work and do something. But I'm going to tell you something, brothers. I need you guys to understand something. You are cut above the rest. You are in the minority. Men that think and operate like CIA men are in the distinct minority. And you're going to have to be okay with leaving a lot of people behind. You're a leader. You're a ruler. You're going to have to get real comfortable leaving a lot of people behind, leaving a lot of average people behind who would only try to say, why do you want to, why, when did you come so cocky, so confident, look, get comfortable. Who are you highlighting me for, man? I'm going to need you guys to get comfortable with leaving a lot of people behind because you're going to have to. You know what I mean? What is going on? Okay, we're starting to have power issues over here. Crap. Here we go with that mess. We're starting to have power issues over here. Crap. All right. Hey man, I'm gonna need y'all to stop highlighting me. Um, if you want to talk to me or get my attention, do me a favor. I need you to put that in super chat. Don't put at by my name and then highlight me. That's not cool. Okay. So part of me wanted to actually kind of go in and have a meeting and talk to brother, but then I had to realize I'm like, you know what? A lot of guys who are in these spaces aren't like us. A lot of guys who are just in these spaces, but they haven't grown up yet. That's what the title of the show was. It's time to grow up. But I'm already talking to grown up men over here. That's what I'm talking to is grown up men. So instead of getting upset and going in and dropping the hammer, talk about it's time for y'all to grow up. No, man. No. Because see, over here, grown up men attract grown up women. And what you're starting to see is a lot of women are starting to come around these spaces because women are attracted to men who are movers and shakers and builders and that kind of thing. And what we need to let you ladies know. Okay. Uh, guys, um, in the chat room, a lot of guys got a lot to say. Okay, guys, we're starting to have problems over here. Let me see if I can get a better connection. But nope, I think it's just the weather. It's the weather. So if it disconnects, it disconnects, guys. We've been having these problems going on for the last couple of days, and then apparently there's mess going on in here. Gotta understand something, ladies. Where are all the good black men? Is not the question. What would you do with them if you found them? What would you do with them if you found them? What the fuck is going on here? Lower connections not fast. All right. So I'm gonna ask you, Joseph Valentine. You asked the question, "What is a good black man?" Why are you asking that question? You're a man. You're a man. Why are you asking what is a good black man? Why are you asking that question, Joseph? Why are some of you guys? Oh, appreciate it. Got the nice fade. Yeah. Why are some of you guys asking this question? Don't get it. No, that's not my router. My router is fly. Understand something. There's a study called Nice Guys, Thugs, Nice Guys, Players, uh, discussing. There was a study done by a sister who went to, who did a study at the University of, was it the University of Chicago? Yeah, Thugs, Nice Guys, Players, Black college women, partner preferences, and relationships expectations. Yeah, University of Illinois Press. Thugs, Nice Guys, and Players. Black Black college women's partner preferences and relationship expectations. By Christy A. Ford. Source: Black Women, Gender, and Families. So basically, this sister did a in-depth study and wrote a paper talking about black women and their black college women and their partner preferences and relationship expectations. Let me read you an excerpt. In particular, black women are attracted to men who physically embody the black masculine thug ideal. This is college level black women, black women at college and after. There are four archetypes: the thug, the nice guy, the player, and the good black man. And the one that ranked the top was the black masculine thug ideal. Simultaneously, they are not looking for a man who dresses like a thug or behaves like a player. Rather, they want a nice guy. This is when black women say they can't find a good black man. What they want is somebody who's like Tupac in a suit, who does not womanize and has sound financial skills and is a loyal mate that goes to PTA. That's what they say. That's what they mean when they talk about finding a good black man. That's the ideal. Based on these idealized notions of black masculinity, some of these women contend that there are no more good black men. From their review and experiences, the number of available and dateable black men are diminished by an abundance of black men who are either players, date white women, who are incarcerated, or are gay or bisexual. Thus, black women choose to limit their dating efforts. This is all in the description if you want to read this. And this is an excerpt from an exhaustive study on black college women's dating preferences and relationship expectations. Okay? The end of the day, African American women who seek men being criminally inclined, promiscuous, or dangerous evaluate the worth of their potential sexual partners and love interests based through distorted lenses. At the end of the day, how many times do brothers get tired of hearing that there are no good black men? When you know good and doggone well that if you were any other race of man, you would be in the top 20%. How many times do brothers get tired of hearing there are no good black men, knowing good and doggone well if you were any other race of man, you'd be in the top 20%? What in the holy heck is going on? So is the question really, where are the good black men? Where are all the good black men? Is that really the question? Or is it you don't know what to look for in a man or what to do if you found him? Guys, I'm sitting there. I think I'm gonna test this stream again, guys. We're just having it seems like it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. Are you guys experiencing network issues? Is it jumping and stopping? Red C says that's why I date outside my race. Hold up. Hold up. All right. So what we have shown, what's been shown over the last several years, ladies and gentlemen, is that there are plenty of good black men. Sadly, and this is where you guys are gonna have to decide how you feel about it. Black women have not been raised to be partners to black men. That's just the net of it. The average black woman was not raised to be your partner. Naima Buckner, what's going on? So what I need you guys to understand something. Put down the manosphere talking points and the red pill Bibles and painting all women, all ADOS black women as your enemy. And look, man, black men were not really raised to take power. Black women were not raised to be partners to black men. That's how both of these groups were raised. Now, black men, I'm talking about a small segment of guys over here, guys who know they are going to be in the top 10%. Ladies, what are you going to do to become partners to these guys? Because it's not for them to make excuses or be understanding for you. See, that's what I think a lot of sisters actually want to hear. They want brothers to be like, well, sisters weren't raised to be that way. I get it. I get that they weren't raised to be that way. But the world does not owe you understanding. There are plenty. Good black men are plentiful. And the question is, what would you do if you found one? Are you ready for him? Because here's the reality. Unlike any other time in history, Becky's coming after your men. Becky's coming after brothers. Bailing is coming after brothers. Marisol is coming after brothers. Anu is coming after brothers. We're talking about brothers in the top 10% of brothers. I'm not talking about this average workaday dudes. I'm talking about guys who are the movers and shakers of the world. Guys who can look their counterparts of any other race in the face and say, I'm going to compete and beat you. What are you going to do? Because what I can't do is I can't tell these men, and I won't tell these men, that they need to be understanding. They need to give you a break, because I won't tell you that you need to work with a brother. See, that struggle love shit that a lot of sisters complain about, there's no struggle over here. Are you ready for what it is you say you want? Because here's what we're starting to find out. I said it on another channel today. 80% of black men want to be with black women. If you ain't one of those 80%, that's the problem. But the majority of black men want to be with black women. That's their choice. That's their desire. But let me let you in on a secret, ladies. If they can't find you, they are not going to die alone. There we go. If they can't find you, they're not going to die alone, and I don't expect them to. Raven, sister, Mr. Slate, just stay single. Relationships are necessary drama. Look here, man. Are you a MGTOW? I mean, I'm just being honest. This channel is not for MGTOWs. This channel is not for MGTOW or antisocial men. You are not going to fare well over here. This channel is not for guys who feel like they need to say, stay single because relationships aren't worth it every damn chat session. You're not going to fare well over here. This channel is for conformists. This channel is for people who want to build a network and be around people. It's not for antisocial types. It's not for loners. So I need you to understand where you are. I get tired of seeing this in my chat room. Goshen, what's up, dog? I need you to understand something. Alpha Male, let me go ahead and put up what my brother Alpha Male puts in the chat room. That's what my brother put in the chat room. I put that. Thank you, bro. Alpha Male just said it. Facts. I love a sister. I do too. But I'm not going to die alone without having one. I need to get the little thing that says facts. Facts right there. That is the truth. Blake Henry, Blue Henry, Hit Squad. 80% of these brothers want to be with black women. Love them some sisters. But I can't look at men like that and tell them that they need to die alone. You feel me, sisters? Women, I can't look at these men and tell them they need to die alone. I can't look at these men and tell them that they need to wait to find you either. Hold up. I cannot. Who are you talking to, Mr. Remy? I'd rather die alone than live with a non-black woman. I'd rather die alone than live with a non-black woman. Okay. Here's the deal. Super chat from Goshen. That's my dog. Goshen came through with the big bomb. See, Rome, what I need these sisters, what I need women to understand is I push over here, steel sharpens steel. These brothers are baptism by fire. They know they got to get in the game. They know they were born black and male without a daddy and without a strong male role model. So they've had to go work 3 times as hard to make themselves the men they are to be able to compete. I can't tell men that have done that they need to slow down for you. Cannot do it, and I will not do it. That's how I am going to approach women. That's how I'm going to approach women. So I need all the men to understand something. I am not going to expect men to slow down for the women to catch up where you are. I am not going to do that. What I expect is I expect for you, when you decide you want a woman in your life, whether it's short term or long term, whether it's an LTR or whether it's a marriage, when you decide that as a man, I want you to be able to pick the best one available to you and move on. I need you sisters that want to be with black men to make sure you're in that selection, that you're in that race. Shout out to
We are the Real Bravado Network, and we address black relationships from an image perspective. Image impacts and influences your life and life experiences. It also determines how you are treated and influence how people interact with you. Image is the reputation that you are known for, which includes your behaviors, your character, and your appearance. There's nothing more damaged than the image of the black man in America. The Real Bravado Network's next phase of development with our live stream, Have the Conversation, will focus on his image. The Real Bravado Network will be asking, how can a black man be a leader of his community and home when the vast majority of black men have never been led? Leadership is taught and a skill that needs coaching, development, and refinement. Over the next few months, we will complete a forensic examination of his image. Please join the Real Bravado Network on YouTube, but we dare to be the bold, not silent.
She might not be a cinephile, but she's a supermodel to me. I so take care of her now with an honest smile. Put the earrings in with a fly hairstyle. Play her status, professional on lock, but on the weekend, like to show the black girls right. She eat me like Sunday morning, this is good as it gets. Whether in a dress or heels or she in chucks and sweats. Ghetto girl going good, that's the reason I love her. At the gym 5 times a week to get in, her tough mother. Word to Jeffrey Osborne, this is my love ballad. LTD encouraged me, got me munching on salad. And she even got me backing off the dude. I don't know about you, but that's what the real wanna do. She don't like my late nights, but she respect my hustle. Put my head to her chest when she seeing the struggle. I know I'm blessed, they don't make many like her. She get a princess, man, I think I might wife her.
My breath, my heart is so beauty, but it's so much more. She my destiny.
She got the last
She bring the best to me.
She got the last
No need to wait another day when it's this way. I know she was sent here to rescue me.
She got the last I know it's a lot to deal with me. I love on how she keep it real with me. Cause it's a lot of thoughts that do what I say so. But she simply shake her head and she be like, no. I love her physical, respect her mental. Fact, she's so spiritual, ain't coincidental. Now we both got our feet on soil. I can't do nothing but thank the Lord we living as royals. I remember being a big dude with small seeds. She helped me stretch it out and turn it into huge dreams. Thelma Evans, good, swear she my best friend. With my pockets tight, she give the card to the ATM. I love when we're alone, she give me selfie poses. I tell her I appreciate her and she dig it more than roses. If Eve came from Adam, then she my rib. I've been waiting for a good one, let's have some kids.
My breath, my heart is so beauty, but it's so much more. She my destiny.
She got that last
She bring the best to me.
She got that last
No need to wait another day when it's this way. I swear she was here to rescue me.
She got that last She got that last
She took my breath, my love, my heart is so beauty, but it's so much more. She my destiny.
She got that last
She bring the best to me.
She got that last
No need to wait another day when it's this way. I know she was sent here to She bring it just to me.
She got that last ugly.
She took my breath, my mind, my heart and soul. My beauty, but it's so much more. She my destiny.
She got that last ugly.
She bring the best to me.
She got that last ugly. She
no need to wait another day when it's this way. I swear she was here to rescue me.
She got that last ugly.
She bring it just to me.
She got that last ugly.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king and I will never knew. Plotting for my fall, you getting hanged for treason. I don't aim to please, do anything I feel. Haters gonna talk, don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me, they know they can, yo. Can't even get close, I'm on a pedestal, sitting on my throne. My neck be decked in gold, I don't do no hoes, I've got a queen though. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king, I told you guys before. Ready for the war, to get me way much more. Gather all these parts, add them to my kingdom. Shout out to my fans for pledging your allegiance. You get a reward, the best flow you've ever heard. I don't be mixing with birds, I'm a lion on the surge. Always pushing to the edge, facing arrows, never scared. For my greatness I'm a servant, only under myself. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in.
Yeah, I believe everybody should have their own little personal theme song, boy. Yeah, get you hyped up, fills you with confidence. Yeah, everybody should have. Remember, I'm gonna get you, sucker. For those, oh my God, I just told people how old I am. So if you remember, and I'm gonna get you, sucker. You know, one of the heroes was talking about every good hero needs his own theme song. Every man should have his own theme song. That is mine. We are the Real Bravado Network, and this is Have the Conversation, where we talk about Black relationships from an image perspective. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, I am absolutely tired right now, but we gonna get through it. We got a good one today. I think we're not gonna spend a whole lot of time on the topic today, but I think a conversation that needs to be had on some level. So here we go. Okay. Also, let me tell y'all something. We got 1,318. That can't be right. 1,318. Oh, people watching right now. That can't be right. That can't be right at all. Well, we gonna roll with it. We gonna roll with it. Jack of Spades. All right, y'all. So listen, my name is Tavares Moore, and like I say in each and every stream, most of my life I never really put much stock into anything related to the concept of image up until, well, at least not until the last few years. You know, I really view image as like this abstract or superficial thing that people with no substance really cared about. I thought it was just like all about perception. Like, you know, people are just like, oh, so superficially worried about how you look. You're nice to be like, who cares how you look? But as I evolved, I realized how short-sighted that was, to be perfectly honest. That was pretty short-sighted. Image is a little bit more than just, you know, something superficial, especially when you take it seriously. It's nowhere near superficial. Okay. We define image as the reputation that a person is known for, which includes like your behavior, your character, and your appearance. Okay. So listen, you know, usually like, we're not going to be on for like 2 hours. So normally what I do is like, you know, to break up our conversation, we do the 3D radio break. We're going to hit that 3D radio break. And then when we get back, we're just going to plow through everything. So I will see you guys in just a minute. Enjoy Mr. Rob Dees. He's one of our favorite artists. Enjoy him. Enjoy what he do. And we'll be back in about 3 minutes.
Can I exhale? My life is artwork, you might not understand this. The way that I spit it like putting strokes on the canvas. Taking notes of all the urban cries. Put it down, materialize, then watch as the paint dries. Better bet the ink, cause every time I think it's time to keep it flow while these other cats sing. No Titanic, too over dramatic. I feel like new edition in the brain now. Tell me, can you stand it? With each word I'm building me a steeple. And if you open my works up, there you'll find my cathedral. You got your wood stains, a little glass paint, but it all tell a story, man. Think that it can't. Where I come from, it's deer hunters and street guns. So I spray these words like the Uzi weighs a ton. It's that heavy. I'm pouring this out from my heart to give you the truth the way that you see is art. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't the truth. And everything that spit is just like a brush stroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life's artwork. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that it spit is like a brush stroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life's art. My description, better yet my mission is to visualize and give the world vision. Work to heal the streets with a little audio heat. And smooth it all out over laid back beats. A to the R to the T, Wisco flow. Like you're in a gallery and see a Picasso. But this ain't Picasso, baby. Even though it's like Jay, cause it's gonna drive the world crazy. This is for those admiring and looking. I heat it up for Instagram and play the rest cooking. It's so acrylic every time that I spit it. My foliage show that I all get it. Speaking of, this art get wows and awes. Like a masterpiece that realistic. But better yet, man, yo, it's so artistic, cuz now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything it spit is just like a brushstroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life is hard work. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life is hard work. My glaze hand bring the pick on home. I'm just an artiste in the Midwest zone. Now it's a lot of cats that paint, but they ain't making art, cause they be lying from the very start. So I make it a point that I paint what I feel, cause I know deep inside what I feel is all real. And this exhibit don't end till I say so. Sincerely yours, Michael Tangelo. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke, and the way that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life is hard work. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke, and the way that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life is hard work.
Paint a picture.
It's all hard work,
That
baby.
that brother can get it, boy.
Welcome to my masterpiece theater.
Your masterpiece. Yeah, bro.
Now you can go on and get a bootleg of it if you need to, you know what I'm saying?
You said go ahead and get a bootleg, y'all. You said go ahead and bootleg it. Paint a picture. Paint a picture. Paint a picture. Yeah. Okay, y'all. Listen, let's get rocking and rolling. All right. I got some guests with me, some friends, and they're gonna be up with me. They don't understand. They're coming up real fast when I introduce this topic. Listen, word is bond. Okay. So over and over on this platform and on our live stream with each subject, I talk about, or at the very least, define image. The concept of image determines success, positive, negative interactions, how people view you, the manner in which someone engages you, all determine your image or personal brand. I was going to talk a little bit about when I mentioned that image sometimes it matters in especially in how people engage. I was going to talk about what happened in I think it was in Georgia with the cops beating another black man, and unfortunately at the hands of all black cops. But your image matters because it really motivates or determines how people move with you. Okay, your image. Another way of looking at your image is also talking about your personal brand. The image of the black man as a collective is shaky at best, and I know I get pushback from other brothers when I say that, and I say it so confidently that our image is shaky at best. And all you got to do is just look at how the collective black woman looks at you and how she treats you and what she offers you as something. What she offers you, how the larger culture in this country, how they interact with you, how you get treated on the job, and all this other stuff. All of that has to do with your image and how you are perceived. Okay. So listening to black women and their thoughts and views on black men, you will quickly understand en masse that our black women have a very low impression about black men, and I don't even think that they understand. I don't even think they even know that from a conscious level that they think very low of us. So, but and the proof of that is, and I've said it over and over and over again, only 25% of black women have decided to become wives. 25%. That means 75% of black women have elected to not become a wife to anybody, let alone a black man. And they elected that by their choices. People, I always tell people all the time, I almost don't care what somebody say to me. I actually watch what they do. A person's actions is the truth. You will almost never do nothing that you don't want to do. You will never almost never make a decision that you don't want to engage in. So a person's actions is the truth. So if we look at the 75% of our ladies who are single and single with children, they've made that decision. They've made the decision that the vast majority of Black men are not worth it. Whether they consciously made that decision or not, their behaviors, their attitudes that's the impression. Last week we talked about messaging. That's the messaging. You know, that outcome is very reflective, you know. And for Black men, when you start to think about things in those terms, it should bring about some kind of, kind of sadness. Okay. All right. So let me give you another example of, of the collective Black man image. So 75% of our women have decided, boom, you're not worth coming to cooperation with, because they're choosing to go at it alone. So that's one instance where, if you don't understand, Black men, where your image are, your own women have already said you're not worth coming to cooperation with. They've said that by their actions. Number two, a study. I found this on CNN, and I know politically people don't, how would they feel about CNN, but whatever. A study of nearly 100 million traffic stops around the country has concluded that, on average, Black male drivers are 20% more likely to get pulled over than white drivers. This study was done by Stanford University out in California. The study analyzed 93 million traffic stops from 21 state patrol agencies and 29 municipalities departments between 2000 and 2018. That's an 18-year worth of data and sample size. And the researchers have analyzed the traffic stop data in relation to the number of people of driving age within each jurisdiction, and controlled for demographics, for gender, reasons for the stop, and other factors, to try to create the most standardized set of data possible to come with this. So we are saying, if we're looking at it just from that perspective, we are, what the numbers are saying, what the police are saying, that Black men commit 20% more traffic violations than anybody else. You think that's even, or that's the perception of law enforcement, that Black men are more likely to be criminals, or transporting controlled substances, or not have proper documentation that gives them the right to legally drive. So we are 20% more likely to be in violation, so we get stopped 20% more at a time. Because in the fact of the matter is, when the DOJ did release the research after the Ferguson stuff about traffic stops, most of the time it's 60% of all contrabands that are found in traffic stops are not found on Black people or Black men. They're found on white men. But we get stopped more than anybody else in the country. 20% more likely to get stopped by anybody else in the country. So as an individual, we are the only group of men that the way we behave as an individual impacts another Black man that we don't even know. Whether we like that or not, Black men, we are tied to one another. I'm tied to men that I don't even know and that I have no connection to. And what that man do in his life will impact how I'm treated or handled, or even opportunities that I might be missed. How many times have you been in situations where, you might be, they might promote a Black person to a particular position within corporate America, and then all the rest of the people, Blacks that are working there, is hoping that dude don't screw it up, because they'll never hire another one because of that dude screwed it up. But Chad and Poindexter and Billy Bob, they can dang near take down the company, but they'll never not hire another white man. But let us get into a position of authority and screw it up. It'll be another 50, 60 years before they, somebody else raised to the level of that level. Okay? So I know sometimes Black men, a lot of things about what goes on with us, it's not fair. We have to start understanding and embracing this. We are connected to one another. even if we don't know who we are. And that's something to be, that's something to say, that what some other brother might do may impact me down the line. And I have no idea who this brother is, or nor tied to this brother, and no real bond with this brother other than we share the same skin color. But if he do something, I can get, backlash based on what some other dude do, or might not get an opportunity, or might not get a partnership in business, or whatever I want to do with my life. I'm gonna say this again. It's not right. It's not fair. But our individual image is tied to one another, Black men. It's our individual characters and behaviors are tied to one another. We are always operating from a deficit. Individually, we have to overcome negative national image. But before we can, we have to do that before somebody even accepts us at a best baseline. And I'm a bit exhausted from the constant complaints about it. Rather than the majority of Black men taking control of our collective image, our collective narrative, i.e. our image, we complain about it. And yes, it sucks that when we walk into a room, we already have to overcome a negative image before they even deal with you, the individual, as a person. I know that sucks, but it is what it is. Okay? And that's what we got going on here. No, I'm looking at the comment. No, we don't do all of that stuff on the road. The data is accurate, but we're not doing the stuff that they're saying that we're doing. They're pulling us over just because of our what they think about us, which is tailored to the image. No, we're not doing that crap. So what is one major thing that is impacting our collective image? Black men, what is our collective reputation? Well, we have several things that impact our collective reputation. One such reputation is that one of the such reputations that we're going to get into today is today has impacted every single Black man. You have either been guilty of this or been impacted by this. So what am I talking about exactly? Black men, word is bond. How many brothers have heard or used that phrase? My word is my bond, or some variation of it. Of course you have. We are talking about a man's word. A man's word. A man is only as good as his word. I know that's an old cliche, but it's an old cliche. You can be as good as your money or your stats or your image or like your skill set, but that's all superficial stuff. Your word is a direct link to your honor, your trustworthiness, and your integrity. So how often with Black men do those three things normally come into question before we even open our mouth? We have an image problem because of our word, because our word is not bond. How many times have you made, and I'm just being very, loose with this example. How many times have you made an appointment with your Black mechanic? He tells you your car will be ready at 3:00 and you assume at 3:00 today. And all you having this brother do is a oil change and a front brake job, but yet you pick up your car at 3:00, but it's 3:00 next week. I mean, for real, word is bond, right? I'm about to bring up a few friends and talk about our word. But remember this about your word. Everybody go ahead and cam up. That's going to cam up. Remember this about your word. Your word determines your level of responsibility, your level of integrity, your level of honor, the level of trust, the level of loyalty, your level of truthfulness. It determines your professionalism level, your style, your consistency, and most importantly, your dependability. I know this is not a sexy topic, but brothers, Mr. Valento, go ahead and unmute. But brothers, do we got a word problem?
I think so. I mean, listen, I don't think we have a word problem, right? Brothers tend to have some of the most creative vernacular under the sun. It just so happens that, you know, what the mass population has been fed has said that our word, though it may be our bond, is written in invisible ink, right? Or evaporating ink, depending on how you look at it, right? It's not worth anything, right? It's like, I wrote a poem recently, right? What's the weight of a dollar when paper is not the primary source, right? So many other things, right? So if automatically, right, because of so many other things like the criminalized black man, right, your word means very much of nothing because they've already told you that the person with this skin tone, they are not to be trusted. These shiftless cats.
These shiftless dudes, right? Shiftless,
right? Their word isn't to be trusted, right? So as soon as they see someone in a suit, it's just, oh my gosh, it's not okay, right? But however, when you see a politician, very different, right? I think mainly because they expect them to see them, even though they do the same things, right? A hustler and a politician almost do the exact same thing, right? Just different scale. But when it's coming from a person of color, it's just seen as a negative, right? So when you talk about the word is bond, right? Listen, what they say is their bond, right? Just because they're a hustler doesn't mean it's going to be 100% true. Because they're going to hustle you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mr. Hezekiah, man, what are you doing? Sitting in the closet somewhere, dude?
No, I'm sorry about the light.
You got a flash? You got like a flashlight or a lighter or some matches or something?
No, the lights went out. That's been storming a little bit.
It Hezekiah. Now I ain't trying to be funny, Hezekiah. You know you a dark brother normally, and all I'm sitting here looking at is a shirt.
I can't get the lights right because it's been storming down here all day.
Casper the Black Ghost.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. You know how we get down.
It's cool. Hey, I still made it though. This sounds good.
Yeah, that's all good. Mr. Frederick, word is bond. We got a word problem.
Some of us do, not all of us. And I'm saying that because, you know, there are some guys that don't honor their word, that don't honor what they say, their actions don't match up to the words that they're saying.
Okay, I want to ask a question. Hold on, Hezekiah. I want to ask a question real quick. We get into these conversations a lot of discussions, and we go to the all or nothing or the all or some or the hedge. Why do we hedge? When we're talking about, especially like when we talk about like a generalized perception, I think it's kind of understood, not all, not every. But my question is, we do that, but that doesn't change the fact that that's how we're being perceived. So I don't, I hear a lot of the ladies do that. They're like, well, not every lady, not every. Well, yeah, of course not. But we're talking about in generalities. So in general, I mean, because I'm just thinking about all the brothers I've had to deal with over the years that have frustrated the mess out of me, from my barber not showing up on time, or just random stuff that we do. Like, my family went to a concert, the Dave Chappelle concert this weekend, right? So Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Black show, Black cast, Black production company. Show's supposed to start at 7 o'clock, right? Or 7:30. Why doesn't the crowd that came to see them even get into the arena until 9:30 at night?
know how we do.
What do you mean you know how we do? There you go. The perception, the generalized perception that our word, that we can't be professional, we can't keep our word. You got two each men worth over $200 million easily with a full production company can't even get their own stuff started on time. The show was a 3-hour delay because one of the guys wasn't in town at the start of the show.
Oh,
he wasn't even in the air at the time the show was supposed to start.
Now, see that is personal accountability right there. You know you're supposed to be somewhere on time, and you weren't on a plane to get to your destination. That's accountability.
I guarantee you, if that was Jeff Foxworthy, for those of you who don't know who that is, that's the Get Her Done dude. Jeff Foxworthy. If that was his show starting at 7:30, that show would have started at 7:25. And people would be sitting outside in the line at 9:30, still trying to get into a show not trying to get to a show at 9 that they don't even start again to like 9:40. Mr. Elemental, you're muted. You muted.
I'm sorry. No, I was saying, however, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Depending on how you set it up, right? Because it could easily be, okay, the main show doesn't start till 9:30, hence the reason you have opening acts, right? And this is the place for the young musicians, for the up-and-coming talent to entertain the crowd, right? So yeah, I can understand, right? If it's that way, right? The main event don't show up until an hour and a half later, but you got all these musical acts or whatnot coming before. Now, if that's not the case, then that shouldn't be
not
bogus.
the case.
But I'm just saying, if you have that space.
I asked that specific question. Well, if the show's supposed to start at 7:30 and you got opening acts, why is the show still starting at 7:30, regardless if the headliner's there or not? Why is the opening act starting at 9:40?
You know what, TJ? I have the biggest problem with promptness. And I used to have a conversation with the female about this.
Let's really go ahead and cam up.
Every night about this. Like, when I moved down south, everything changed. The way the people they had positions at the job where they was supervisors and managers, and they acted a certain way, and it was no professionalism at all. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is how we act in positions like this? Like, we would never do that up north, act like that. You carry yourself, when you have a position, you carry yourself with a certain kind of honor, like, this is how I'm going to be every day. They came in just different pants shaking, still smelling like marijuana. I'm like, really? They do this down here? And, I'm talking to my friend. I said, man, I can't stand black people. But she got it like, oh, you hate your own kind. You just want to be other color. It's like, no, you don't see what I see on a daily basis. Every day dealing with my people. And we're trying to overcome and do different things in life. And I'm sitting there looking at these people. I'm like, y'all are setting us back another 100 years the way we're acting and dressing and still believing in this thug attitude. It's okay. But when it's okay to have a thug attitude. But when you're doing professionalism and you're at a job, it's the time to turn the switch on and the time to turn the switch on. If I go to Family Dollar, you're supposed to open at 8 o'clock. Don't come to the door and look like you just got out of bed saying, I'm not opening the switch at 8:30 because you are my kind. So you decide you can get there at any time you want. But if I go over to the White Family Dollar, they're going to open 10 minutes early and let you in.
Miss Philly, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I can't come on the camera right now, but I'm here.
That's cool. That's cool. Listen, I got a question for you because you're the resident sister on the panel. And be honest. Don't be all polite and diplomatic and politically correct over here. Do brothers got a word problem?
No.
You don't think so?
TJ, I mean, hold on. Um, as, as a yeah, as a whole, if you, I mean, not leaving anybody, I mean,
As a
in,
collective,
as a collective, yeah. Um, yeah, that's my answer. As a
and,
collective, yes.
and
Um,
why do you say that?
but of course, we know. I mean, it's not everyone, but
Yeah, I don't care about that, but I
as
just
a collective, yes.
because
Final answer.
because yeah, look, listen, because fine, no, it's not everyone, but oh, we lost her. We get treated. We don't get treated as an individual in this country. We don't get treated as an individual. So yeah, our and I know that was hard for her to admit, but we got to stop being uncomfortable with admitting uncomfortable truths. We can't get nowhere. You know what I mean? Now, individually, I think my word is pretty solid. But I know as a collective, like we got a black owned, a couple black owned clothing stores here, and I went to one. I went to this particular one I go to one time, and they're supposed to open up at 10 o'clock. So I'm there at 10 o'clock. The people inside, and there's about 15, 20 of outside in line. It's 10 o'clock. Then it's 10:05. Then it's 10:15. And then like 10:17, like somebody finally comes to open the door. And by that time, about half the people left. And I said, ma'am, I said, y'all supposed to open at 10. Half the people that you was standing here left. She said, they'll be back.
What?
They'll be back. I mean, what if somebody was in line that impacted small business loans? And this is their first interaction with a black-owned business, and that's the attitude that she has standing there, is they'll be back. Oh, we can't do no business with them black people. And they'll take what she did and apply it to me when I want to get a small business grant or something like that. They'll apply that crap to me.
I walked to the Dollar Tree the other day. The parking lot was filthy. I mean, trash everywhere. So I walked in the store. I said, how much will y'all pay me to clean up this parking lot? She said, don't even worry about it. They still going to shop here. And this was the employees that work in the store.
Well, you know, the Dollar Tree only pay people about $7 an hour, though. So
that parking lot was nasty.
But I'm just talking about.
You want to go to a place of business and see a parking lot like that. She's like, hey, don't worry about it. They still going to shop here.
Yeah, but the attitude, but I mean, with us collectively, you know, I got to meet you because you got a lot of background noise, like a lot. But you know, our word is very important. You know what I mean? And it impacts. And I know a lot of times we can really get caught up in the individual self, you know, and not really worry about what we do and how we impact. Look, on my job, what I do, I am very much well aware of how I behave on my job. You know, I work in a white female dominated environment. I work in healthcare. I work for a hospital. The conversations that them ladies or the males, the white men, the doctor that they have, I can't have those conversations. The way that they flip out on each other, I can't flip out like that on them. Because I'm well aware that I'm the only black man in my department. And I am well aware that my behavior will determine if they hire another one. But, you know, my question is, and we're going to kind of wrap it up, because we weren't going to be on too long tonight, is that, you know, how much thought, Mr. Elements, I'm going to just talk to you. Hold on a second. You know, how much thought do you think we give to our word and what that really means on a larger scale?
I think we do, you know, in a sense of, it's important for us to be very clear, right? Because our words tend to be taken as offensive a lot of times, we have to be even more particular of our word choices. right? We are taken out of context most of the time, right?
Mm.
And then our body language comes into play, right?
Mhm.
And you think about that when people try to emulate what Black men do, that's one of the first things they use is the body language, is the body movements, right? So when we talk about our word, right, it also incorporates our nonverbal language, right? And how we are, like you mentioned, a presence in every place that we step in, right? So yes, our word is our bond. Also, the words that we don't use, right? The words that we don't speak. Again, our presence, how we move, the way we move, right? It's been tainted by the people who have oppressed us to say, oh no, don't even listen to them. And I'm going to flood the market with so much garbage that when you finally hear a person with something worth listening to speak, you categorize them as worthless or not worth listening to because they just fall in line with the rest of the cats that just do a bunch of this just to make sure they can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We're gonna wrap this up a little bit here. A couple things I want to talk about, just kind of moving forward. We're gonna be moving into a phase of the stream where we're gonna be talking a lot about, especially we're gonna be talking about Generation X and Generation Y or Millennial, whatever you want to call it, like our brand of manhood and the fact that we don't have one and what that means. We're going to really get into that. We're going to spend some time in that. Also, I got a couple specials coming up that I'm working on putting, with the one I'm working on putting together right now. And Philly, you got to get in touch with me about this. Is our very next special, which is going to be probably in about 2 weeks or so, right around the first, second week of February, is called Conversations with Our Daughters and Sisters. So we're going to interview Black women between two age groups, 20 to 25, and then 25 and up. And we're going to be talking about how they choose, their selection process, and what they actually, in their thought process towards men. And I'm really building this one to, I think this one might be a little bit heavy, especially what I'm going to ask these ladies to disclose. You know, the type of stuff I'm going to have them disclose, because I want people to get a real sense of, you know, if I can, you know, the thought process behind how some of our ladies interact with us, how they make their decisions, and why they make their decisions. And so maybe that'll give us Black men some more of a understanding of what we're dealing with when we're dealing with our own women. I'm thoroughly convinced right now, Mr. Elemento, that Black women have no idea who we are as Black men. And I think to a degree, we don't understand our current women and how they work and how they think. We just see the behaviors. But the one thing I want to tell our women is, we know you a lot more than you think we do, because the 80% of us were raised exclusively by you.
Very true.
So we actually know you a little bit more than you know us. But I really believe, like, the world has set up where a lot of our women don't necessarily have to know us. But this is becoming a problem. Over here, we're trying to do some work, not just have conversations.
Absolutely. And this is the work, right? It's actually addressing those situations that you're talking about, right? Why one group knows the other and not the other, and then how that dynamic has shaped our community, right?
Yeah.
Inside the community and outside, right? How our community is viewed based on the dynamic of a single parent household most of the time.
Yeah.
Right. So when we start talking about toxic masculinity, a lot of folks who were raised in single parent households with their mothers don't necessarily know too much about toxic masculinity, right? Because they weren't necessarily exposed to it. Right. So when you start talking about the relationship, like you said, between sisters and daughters, and I have tumultuous ones with both. All right. It does come from the core family.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Whether it's state and traditional or, conventional, it definitely starts right there.
I'm not trying to, I've never, and I get my fair share of flack because I have these conversations outside of here at work with family, with friends, with whoever, dating partners, whatever, and people get absolutely furious at me, especially when I tell the ladies, you ain't got no business raising a kid by yourself. You ain't got no business doing it. You shouldn't do it, ever do it. You're not equipped to do it. They get very, oh my God. Because we are inherently wired differently, and I was telling one lady, I told somebody, I said, a man can get you to do anything he wants to do. All he got to do is make you feel good about it, because you process most of your decision making through your feelings.
Oh,
and
man,
when there's no,
listen.
and
I
when
know
there's
you was gonna dip into pimping and shit. Like, come on, man.
pimping, it's what it is. A man, why you don't want, one of the reasons why we have such a, I mean, of course, everything with us is multi-layer, more than one strings,
100%.
several layers of the matrix with us.
Yeah,
But let me tell you something. What woman truly wakes up every day as a little girl and go, oh, I want to be a baby mama when I grow up? Somebody made her okay with that, because women process their decision making through their feelings most of the time. Sometimes that's good, depending on the situation. That's why you have to have your male for your male counterbalance and balance. But our women today are at a very big disadvantage because, listen, too many men walking around of our generation, man. We look like men, but and I've said this before, but we got female software.
That's a female software. I like that.
I'm just saying it. Let me tell you something, man. I have come to accept a couple things about myself. I am sometimes, and I'm very good about controlling sometimes, dude, I just let it rip. And after I didn't let it blow, I just saw, all I see is my grandmother, because she raised me. Her behavior pattern. Because it's such ingrained in me, because that's how I was raised. I'm more hyperly aware of it, but I can, believe it or not, I can only control it so much. These are conversations that if you're a man born between let's just say 1974-ish through current, it's what you are.
100%.
And we can't do nothing about it until we talk about it. And there's some truth in it when our women say that a lot of our men are bigger bitches than we are.
I mean, listen, being pretty is a thing, man. You know what I mean? There are some cats that gotta be pretty. Listen, I've seen the shit on social media. No disrespect to anyone who is in this realm, but I've seen the shit in social media where these cats are getting these man units, right? And they're getting these things put on their dome to make sure that they are pretty, right? Because they are looking to get with a certain type of woman in a certain echelon of success. And in order to do that, you have to look in a certain professional way. At least that's what some cats think, right? So now they are putting on a persona, right? So when you start talking about word is bond, that to me automatically said your word ain't shit, because you're not even telling me who you actually are.
Who you actually are. And I tell, I've adopted this saying, especially when dealing with our women and stuff like that. And I always tell, and I talk to fellas, I said, when you try to tell her something, make sure you can tell her something, which means that you got to do some self-inventory. And I'm not taking nothing away from the decisions that our women are making. They're making these decisions. However, you got to be able to tell her something. And that's kind of where I've kind of been at with my life for the last few years, while I've been kind of coming to this journey about, well, how much of a deficit I'm in relation to dealing with our women versus their response to my manhood. Their response, now that I understand it a little bit more, like, in my 20s and my 30s, they were just responding to a woman. Little did I know, because I'm a dude, but not understanding that I was programmed to be a woman, because that's what I was raised with. Philly, did you hear about the special that I'm going to be working on? hold on. Let me see. You need to unmute.
It was going in and out, so I didn't catch it.
Okay, we're going to be doing a special in a couple weeks called "Conversations with our daughters and our sisters," where we're going
Okay.
to where we're going to specifically just interview two groups of women, ages between 20 and 25, and then
Okay.
25 and up, about their experiences with their selection process, and then try to get an overall understanding of how they think about Black men as a whole based on their selection processes. So it's going to be a little bit different spin. We're actually going to do. So when I get it all together, I'll put it out there for everybody. So make sure everybody's there for that. But I put it on the Real Bravado Facebook page, and I've gotten about 10, 15 women, that have said, sign me up, good conversation, good idea, good topic. And so I got to put together to let them know exactly like the framework and what I need them to do. One of the things I want to do is give them the space to be brutally honest, about the situation, even if something that we don't want to hear as dudes. And then then I want to make sure that they can understand that the male perspective, which they're going to get because we got men on the panel, they might not want to hear that. but it's some realities to it. We gotta start hearing the stuff that's uncomfortable about each other. I don't believe my word is trash, but black men word is trash.
Women, our word can be trash too.
I know, but I know this may sound a little sexist, but I place very little value on what or not value, but weight on what you should be, because I'm supposed to be up here. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It don't matter.
I understand.
I can't worry about you in your lane. I'm trying to secure my own lane.
Yeah. Because when the man is secure, the woman is gonna fall in line.
Yeah. And then I think I said last week on the stream even if a man, you got a woman that's completely rejecting what you're offering, sometimes no matter how much you love that woman, you got to let her go.
Yeah.
Because a woman that you can't navigate or guide as a man, will get you killed. If you're out at a concert, you out somewhere, and you as a dude, women are not necessarily spatially aware most of the time, because the world is built to protect you, so you are more comfortable. But your dude ain't never out in public. Your dude ain't never sitting comfortable and relaxed.
Listen, let me tell you a story. No, please continue. Let me tell you a story with you, please.
Okay, he may look comfortable and relaxed, but he's always aware. And if your dude goes, "Hey, get your stuff, we for to go," he ain't got time to sit there and listen to you ask him 150,000 questions. Why? Get your butt up and go.
You need to move, because he's observed something and been made aware of something that you haven't. Yeah.
Even if he didn't, even if he just out and about and he just said he just want to take you home and knock you off, go.
Right. Get up, girl.
I tell ladies all the time, and they don't like to hear this. Your man should have a level of control over you. Doesn't mean he needs to control you. He should have a level of influence over you. And if you need to get with a man that you are comfortable with submitting that to. So if you out at a Cat Williams concert, and anything could pop off at a Cat Williams concert, and he like, "Yo, them dudes over there, okay, we gotta go." And you're like, what's going on? But Cat ain't got the stage yet. That's the dude. He can't protect you because you won't listen to him, and he ain't got time to be sitting there explaining. So, anyways,
you just have to trust his judgment.
His judgment, right? There you go. Let's hear this story.
All right. So, my best friend and I, right? We happen to be together and with both of our ladies, and we go to a restaurant, right? We go, and it's a busy restaurant, right? It's a popular steakhouse. We go to this place. We're sitting down, surrounded by all these people. And then the ladies are trying to figure out where they're going to sit, right? And my friend and I are just like, "All right, what side of the table you want to sit on?" And he's like, "It doesn't really matter. You're going to sit on the opposite side, right?" So we sit down, and we're looking at each other, and we just kind of simultaneously both kind of relax almost. And the women are looking at each other like, "Wait a minute, what's going on here?" And we both kind of just like explain to them like, "Listen, I can finally actually relax because I don't have to be worried about the entire 360-degree perspective now, because I know I'm just watching his back because he's watching mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now we can actually enjoy this because now I can actually just save some of my emotions to actually enjoy the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know,
and there's a lot of ladies that understand, like when we go out, there's certain positions that we just want to sit in because we need to see.
The entire room. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to see.
It's mandatory. It's
Can't
mandatory.
have can't have my back to the room. Can't have my back to the room.
No.
So
listen, where did that even come from, right? And I would love to explore that even, right? There are certain unwritten rules that we abide by everywhere we go, right? And that's one of those things, right? You never sit with your back to the wall. You always find out where the exit is, and if there are multiple exits, what is the fastest escape route? Always.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Frederick, I know you ain't been on long this today, but you on a lot. Any final words for us, brother?
You know what? Like I say,
Frederick got some allergies going on. What'd you say?
So I don't know. Like, I'll say this. I don't know about anybody else, but my word is my bond. That's connected to my respect. That's connected to my honor. That's connected to me as a person. Period. And for me to violate my word, that's disrespect on me. That's disrespect on my name. That's disrespect on the name. That's disrespect on my name.
Mm-hmm.
And it's disrespect to my father and my and all the men that raised and helped raise me. So anytime I say something, I'm gonna do it, even if it's something I don't want to do, or I feel maybe like wrong, but I'm still gonna do it, and I'm gonna honor my word. But I may have reservations about.
Yeah, definitely. I think this was a, like I said, this is not a.
This is my problem with that.
This wasn't a sexy conversation. It wasn't intended to be. Listen, Philly Frederick, you've been with me like the last 5 streams. Man, they've been heavy topics.
Definitely.
So I'm like, you know what? Let's just do something like. I mean, I may as word in the bond. It's not like a light topic, but it don't. There's not a lot of layers to it. It's very cut and dry. And the fact I really wanted to kind of reinforce that, for Black men, we have to continue. We have to continue to understand, and it's not fair. We are connected to one another, even if we don't know each other. Because you might, Mr. Elman, we in the same city. You might get stopped by a cop, give him hell. He stopped me. He whooping my ass to death.
Right after he stopped me. Right, yeah. I'm gonna give him hell. You better believe it. If he stopped me, I'm gonna give him hell. That's just who I am, man. Listen, I'm sorry. I mean, hey, but it's gonna be it that way,
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, let's go ahead and kick this. All right. Thank you to the guys in the comment section. That's actually a really big deal when we had this conversation.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day. I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day. I get it in. I'm a king and I will never knew. Plotting for my fall. You getting hanged for treason. I don't have to please. Do anything I feel. Haters gonna talk. Don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me. They know they can, yo. Can't even get lost. I'm on a pedestal, sitting on my throne. My neck be decked in gold. I don't do no hoes. I got a queen though. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win every day. I get it, I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win every day. I get it, I'm a king. I told you guys before, ready for the war, to get me way much more. Gather all these parts, add them to my kingdom. Shout out to my fans for pledging your allegiance. You get a reward, the best flow you've ever heard. I don't be mixing with birds, I'm a lion on the surge. Always pushing to the edge, facing arrows, never scared. For my greatness I'm a servant, only under myself. I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win every day. I get it, I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need.
All right, welcome to the after stream.
I'm busy doing my
10-minute wrap up.
Me and you could get forgotten. Just let it
Conversation
sing.
has
I don't play it, I just win every day. I get it.
You can see us debrief live about what we just did. Yeah. Everybody need to get their own theme song. Because I mean, get your name.
That'll be so dope.
I remember on the job when I used to have to go defend myself, I used to go out in my car and play Tupac's Hit 'Em Up to get me in the buy space.
Oh my God.
Who shot you, but your chumps didn't finish. Now you're about to feel the wrath of a menace. Yeah.
That's when I was young, boy. I used to, boy, got to get fired up, boy, and go back in that job to that meeting I'm about to have with my supervisor or human resources. Boy, I'll be so pumped up, and every single time I would get myself in trouble, boy. I would be feeling it. How'd you guys think that went?
As always, I think it went good.
Okay. All right.
Wish we would have went a little bit longer, got more into it a little bit more, but
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah. I got
to my brother over there holding it down.
Yeah. I got very low energy today, so I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this, boy.
Yeah.
Because I've been, I work 12-hour night shifts, and I've been basically there for like 5 days or something like that. I'm exhausted. Uh-huh. Yep.
Damn. For me, man, I love the fact that you address things from multiple angles, right? This topic can be, viewed and addressed from multiple angles, right? Even the term itself, word is bond. You know what I'm saying? Like even the origins of that and how that went from, no, I'm trustworthy, no, I'm honest, no, I'm a man of integrity. You know what I'm saying? But it came all the way down to the slang of word is bond. You know what I'm saying? So I love the fact that you're addressing it in a sense of today, right? Because even though the slang may have changed, the connotation is still the same, right? That again, when I go back to talking about that shiftlessness that, the oppressor has forced upon the people to say, oh, no, you can't believe these cats. So when you start addressing what the oppressor has been force feeding us for so long, I think it's always a touchy subject. I think it's always a slippery slope, but it's a necessary conversation. So bringing the people in to have that conversation, man, is always a step in the right direction. So I think it was great.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard sometimes, especially, I got an idea about where I want us to go and where we're moving. And sometimes you got to have, I think I call them transitional conversations. You know what I mean? Because like we were heavy on like, men and their leadership and stuff like that. And that was, I didn't intend for us to do, like 5 or 6 streams around that theme about male leadership, but it just kind of like when I did the Man Can't Lead series, the first 3, it just kind of spawned several other things. And then and believe it or not, I'm starting to get a lot of feedback. If you guys go on to the YouTube channel and look and click, there's a lot of comments going back, especially when I pull the clips out from the different shows. My goodness, the amount of feedback that we're getting. People are writing like, man, like thesis papers on this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't hit a nerve. Finally, I'm like, yeah, finally I hit a nerve, which is good, which is going to help grow the platform, or help grow what we're doing. And I really, want to march us towards doing more stuff like what I'm going to be doing when we get to the conversations with our daughters and sisters, where we actually can drill down and have that wrestle with each other. I was talking to Angela, the queen of collaboration. She used to be on our show a lot, and I was on her podcast the other morning, and I was explaining to her. I asked her. I said to her, I said, how many of us do you think it's going to take to change our course as a group? How many pairs of blacks do you think it's going to take to change the course? And I told her, I said, I know the answer because it's science based. And so I said, what is the percentage of us that it will take to change the course, to change our perception, to change our outcomes, to make us successful? She said it's going to take about 80% of us. I said, no. All we need is 10% of us. I say, if the majority of us believe that we need 80% to correct this mess, maybe that's the reason why we don't have as much engagement in correcting it. 10% don't seem like a lot, do it? 10%.
You're talking about building social movements, right?
Yes.
You're talking about coalescence of the people.
Yes.
With a song.
Yes.
And with a charismatic leader.
Yes.
Right. Look, there are groups of people. There are couples right now, power couples in our communities that can do exactly that. What we're talking about, that can actually shift the atmosphere in a direction that will benefit Black people.
Let me tell you something. I know you guys weren't on, but like I clicked live at 7:00 and I played like Kevin Samuels did this show called "Where Are All the Good Black Men," and I played that. I played that at the beginning of this for a reason. Let me tell you guys something. This man had almost 2 million subscribers. There are about 22 million. There are about 22 million Black men in this country. Another million subscribers, he would have been at 10% of Black men. And as much as people didn't like, I don't like how you talk to the women. Don't worry about that. What he was trying to do with the men was more important. He was encouraging them to go out, streamline yourself. He preached therapy, get yourself healthy. He talked about personal responsibility. He would tell men that come on the platform, why would you deserve a woman when you are fat, out of shape, and then you still crying at your mama house? He did that. He talked to brothers out there who were out here serial pregnating people and stuff like that. He has actually more content dealing with men issues than he do with the women, but he got scoriated because he told our women, you need to come under cooperation with your average, everyday, run-of-the-mill Black man. But let me tell you something. He was popular because he was a charismatic, what, Mr. Elemental? Leader. And as much, you might not like his individual brand when he was talking to the ladies, but what he believed in was Black family. He believed and he believed it was the future and the stability of us. That's what he believed. Now, how he went about doing it, whatever. Sometimes you gotta wade through the to get to the essence, the salacialism, because he was a businessman. He was making bucolos of money doing what he was doing. But 10%, yes, you're gonna need somebody. You're gonna need willing people, and you're gonna need the appropriate leader.
Yes.
For
and
that.
the song.
And
you
the
know,
song.
and then kind of like what you're creating, right? You need a song that's going to fill every single living room, right? That's gonna transform this television, right? These ABCs and CBSs and NBCs into something that's nourishing for the people, right? I mean, I write about this in my my poetry all the time, but it is that, right? We have to kind of do what the brothers were talking about in the Mac, right? Within but without white America. Right. And then we can start to shape our image in our own likeness. I'm not trying to say that we need to, change the world. However, if we do things in our likeness, you will see how things change. Do some research on Black Wall Street for the folks who are watching. You know what I mean? Look at Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know what I mean? We can do this. We have done it plenty of times. And matter of fact, there are brothers and sisters trying to rebuild Black Wall Street right now.
Yeah.
We
I
got
follow Black Wall Street on Instagram.
we got $6 trillion. We spend $6 trillion in the United States economy. We can buy Wyoming from the United States and rebuild that because ain't nothing in Wyoming.
Oh, listen! I heard a stat recently that said if you take the spending of Black Americans as its own entity, I believe it becomes the 9th richest
Largest
country in the world, in the world, right? Just Black people. You take it out of America, right? It shows up on the world map, basically, right? Which goes to say that what we're doing, right? All the processes that we have, all the genius that exists in our communities does not deserve to be siphoned out into cream of the crop, right? It doesn't, right? And this is why our word is a bond, because as soon as you hear people saying things like we're saying, it's like, oh, time to pull that plug. Oh, let's load another chamber and take those cats out. Everyone who speaks of the advancement of our people finds themselves in the wrong positions, right? And what you said earlier, right, about Black men being tied to one another, it's so beautiful, right? It's the butterfly effect, because we are still being affected by the things that Marcus Garvey said, by the things that W.B. Du Bois said, by the things that Booker T. Washington said, right? So of course we are still, everything that you said, Michael Brown did, yeah, they look at us the same way, right? George Floyd happened, they're looking at us the same way. We all have the potential to do the same thing because we're all one family, yet what they're trying to do is make us believe that we're not. So that's why it's so easy for us to take each other out, because they've done a great job making us believe that we're not connected when we actually are.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys once again. We'll be in touch. Thank you for those who watched, participate. Thanks for the people in the chat section. We're growing. We're doing the work, doing the best. We're trying to make this engaging when we do it, and we'll see you guys next time.